Hi, Dennis Hall with learningtemplates.com. I'm going to show you how to upload e-learning. As you can see in this list, e-learning LearnDash xAPI supports Storyline. It supports this is also Storyline. It supports Lectora. It supports Captivate. Even though that just says Captive, it's Captivate. It supports iSpring. It also supports adapt learning courses, which I don't have a copy of one to upload. Actually I do, so let's go ahead and let's add that. So to do that, we're going to add a new tin can record. And by the way, because I'm in a multi-site, these uploads that I'm doing are specific to this site that I'm in, which is not the same as the uploaded courses in the other site in this multi-site. So if we take a look here at LearnDash xAPI, you'll see that the list of uploaded files are not the same. So let's go ahead, let's either way just add a new tin can record, and we'll call this adapt course. That's fine. And we're gonna create a folder here. Now once this folder is created, if you go to update this course later, it'll update in the same folder. It won't you won't have the ability to create a new folder. So we'll just adapt and give this folder a name, and we'll call it e-learning course. And you can write this in just human readable you can just write this in human readable terms, by the way, so you don't have to if I can spell today, so you don't have to give it like dashes or anything like that. You can if you wish, but you don't have to. So we'll just choose our zip file, our xAPI enabled zip file, and of course I'll be getting that from my D drive in this case, and it'll be within my within a subfolder, which we will look for here. Course zip files. We'll see if I've got an adapt course in here. Actually, we can use a rise course instead. Oh, there. Well, that's not that. That's not a course. I don't. Well, let's see. Yes, it is a course. How could I tell this was a course and not some other zip file? Because it automatically populated the information. So adapt e-learning courses, the folder that I created, and that is the folder that was reflected here. So what happened here was when I uploaded the tin can, the tin can zip file, or the xAPI published zip file from that product, what happened was that that product wrote a file called tin can XML. I read that file, I found out what the start file within that was, and I populated it here. I then also found out what the ADL verb was for that course. So I just clicked create course. Done. So what did I do? I entered a course title, a folder, and I uploaded the course, and then I click create course. So now that is being now unpacked and populated on my in my LearnDash website for this specific instance. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll just add this to we'll add it to a lesson next to control the mark complete button. So there's one, as this is uploading, and this is a slow server, by the way. It's one of my development servers. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's go into lessons, and we'll go to lesson 2. We'll go to lesson 1. I probably shouldn't have uploaded it to this one. Oh well. Either way, we'll go to lesson 1. We'll edit the lesson. I'll get rid of all of this other stuff here, and we'll go ahead and we'll add this as a button So if I had not uploaded any course, I would have a screen here that basically says nothing's that basically has nothing in it, except it'll say that there's nothing to select in the upper left corner here. But because I do have other stuff here, I can go ahead, I can select it. So when you add an e-learning course to LearnDash using my product, you can choose to control the Mark Complete button. In other words, show it when the course is complete or not. You can also auto-complete the lesson. So what'll happen, it'll auto-complete the lesson and jump to the next lesson or topic automatically. Because we're creating a button, you're going to have a preview area over here. So I will add an image to this button if I've got one, which I don't. Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll upload a file, I don't know, some image. Let's go ahead and we'll pick one from my removable drive in this case. If I've got a image, there's one. That's good enough. So I've got an image to add to the button. That's all good. So you'll see that the image will populate once I size the image. So I can make it really small, and what I'll do, I'll just drag it to the left. I'll position it to the left, and you can see over here there's a little tiny image there. I can make that image really big as well. So I can resize it as I wish. Now, for your information, in the Chrome browser, these controls don't show pixels or anything like that. And that's a Chrome scenario. I can also, so I've chosen to not control the Mark Complete button because it's a single lesson course. What I will do is I'll auto-complete the lesson instead. Now, because there's no other lesson, we'll see what happens. I can also open this in a new tab, so that'll pop up a new window. In this case, let's go ahead and change the button's background color. And let's change the font size to 30 point as an example, and we'll pick any of the Google fonts that I'm importing into the system. So we have a full list of Google fonts, so we can change the font style. And let's go ahead and we can change the text color as well. We'll make that blue, and we'll change the border color to let's make it red, and we'll kind of make it a dark red, like that. So right now you don't see much of the border, but if I change the width of the border to a few pixels, you'll see it. I can also change the border radius, and we'll make it about that. Let's go ahead and let's increase my image size as well, make it really big, as big as it can possibly be. We can increase the padding at the top. We can increase it at the bottom as well if we want. Change the border radius even further, make it completely round, for example. Change the width again a little bit, and change the padding to the right, just to give that a bit. And then I'll change the padding to the left all the way so my image shows up all the way. After that, I'll just click Insert. Now, what's cool about my plugin, I create a shortcode. Now, this shortcode basically configures all those parameters that we just changed. So, for example, the tin can ID is the record that I just selected. So if I go back to LearnDash xAPI, where I uploaded the course, and I just hover over the update button for the adapt course, down in the bottom left-hand corner of my screen, you'll see there's a URL that ends in ID = 2. You can also see that same ID reflected down here for your information. So if I want to change that course to be the storyline course, I would hover over the update button. I would look at the ID = 1, and I can always change that to ID = 1 if I wish, simply by doing that. I can also change the text of the button right here. Now, the advantages to all of this are that if I just need to replicate this button exactly the way it is for all different lessons and topics and such, that way I have an identical button to launch all the time, then this is what I can do, is just copy it and change the ID and change the button text if I wish. Piece of cake. The image size is 27 pixels high by 100 pixels wide, which is the full size of that image that I did upload. The position of the image is left, so you can do left, right, top, bottom. The background color, the font size, the Google font. You can also change that for your own local fonts, but I recommend using the Google fonts. They're very nice. Border radius, so everything here is configurable. So that's pretty cool. You can also set it to not open in a new tab, and you can also set it to mark. If you set mark complete from 0 to 1, it'll show the mark complete button if applicable. In this case, we'll keep that to autocomplete, and we'll leave it as this, the way it is. Let's go ahead and let's talk about embedding. So that is, by the way, how to create a button. So if I just update that, we'll be able to see that button in this lesson. So let's go ahead and let's view the lesson. And you can see I've got my open course here. I click on that, and it opens up that e-learning. Again, slow server, but it'll open up that e-learning in a lightbox. Now, when you install my plugin, you have the options to include H5P and include a lightbox. That's part of my plugin. And if you have already passed those, then what will happen is you can go and you can actually go and install those from the WordPress repository as well at a later time, or you can contact me to reset the plugin to allow for those to be installed if you've already dismissed the message. Let's go ahead and let's just capture that same thing though, and let's put that into an iFrame this time. Now again, you'll need to select the course, so we'll pick the adapt course. We'll control the mark complete button this time, and now with here there's to let you know, it's really important you understand that in the back end here I'm not going to show you the actual course, and that's because if we launch the course in the back end, Lifter LMS xAPI is going to send data if you can view that course in the back end. And again, the controls here within Chrome, you don't see how many pixels they are in size. That's a Chrome browser scenario. So we'll just insert this, and again, it'll say not found, and that's okay that it does that. So later, if you what I do is this: I update the course, and then I open the lesson in a new window, in a new tab. And when I do that, you'll see the course in the front end. So the student's view will actually see the content of the course, but you yourself will not see that in the back end. Again, if I show you that, the problem is that if you're able to see it here, it's going to be recording xAPI data. So you'll end up not seeing it there. So here we've got so I've got this course, this adapt course here, being viewable within the system, and right now it is recording xAPI data. So when I complete this course, what will happen is the mark complete button will show up. It's a bit of a long course, so what I can do is I can go back and I can edit this, and I don't actually need to edit it here. I'm already here. So what I'll do is here's what we look at here. When you have an iFrame, this is the code that I give you, and you can change the height and width of the iFrame by changing this in text view. You can also change the source of the iFrame, so remember that tin can ID? Well, here we are here. And again, you're not going to see in the back end. Again, very intentional, because if you see it, I'm going to be recording essentially garbage data. We don't want garbage data to be sent to your LRS. So now I've just changed the ID of the course itself, and now it's going to launch a storyline course in lesson 1. So we'll just go ahead and we'll complete this. So I'll select true, false, true, and when I complete this, the Mark Complete button would show up down below if I wanted that to. So I'll let that be for now, and just wanted to show you how to do that. Thanks.